I'm not going to get into everything about the case.
Okay.
Okay. Just this morning,
Sure.
and him showing up, turning himself in, to turn himself in.
Good?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good, man. All right, Chief, so you're pleased that he came to turn himself in, or how exactly did this work this morning?
Well, yesterday we got 2 warrants signed, one for Mr. Spell. We contacted his attorney and advised his attorney of the warrant, and which time we made arrangements with his attorney to turn himself in. He wanted us to come to the church because he was going to have the news media out there. I don't know why he wanted to do that, but we told his attorney that we would not be coming to his church to take custody of him. He would turn himself into the police department. And there directly we got a phone call from the attorney that they were going to change their press conference to here. We wasn't out here for a press conference to make an arrest. We thank Mr. Spell for bringing himself in, turning himself in. You know, he brought himself here, and then we took him into custody, and he went to the parish prison. We arrested him for aggravated assault, improper backing, plus he had 2 outstanding bench warrants, one through Zachary Police Department and one through East Baton Sheriff's Office for traffic offenses. So he was booked on those 2. He was booked as a fugitive for them.
Okay. Can you explain what improper backing is?
Well, he backed up down the shoulder of the road. He actually backed out into traffic and down the shoulder of the road towards the victim. And that's all I'll say on that.
He was kind of running laps around here for a brief moment this morning. Can you elaborate maybe what he was saying or what the...
He wanted to have his news conference, you know, and we're not out here for a news conference. We have a job to do. We had a warrant for his arrest, and we took him into custody.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, do you hope this has an impact on him, or just kind of calms this down a little bit?
I don't know what he'll do. He hasn't listened to anything that anyone's told him. He's still having his church services. He's not listening to the governor's order or the president's order. I've talked to him. Other officials have talked to him. Tony Perkins has talked to him. Everyone has, and he's assured us that he was going to adhere to the order, but then he didn't. He hasn't done it once. So that's all.
Okay. So just kind of keep an eye on him and do what you got to do moving forward.
The investigation's continuing, and we're going to continue on till this is over with. But we urge people not to go to the church, just for safety reasons, because of health reasons. He's already had one of his parishioners pass away. His attorney's sick, and no telling how many others. And we don't want anybody to be sick. Nobody has ever told him he couldn't have services. They're hiding behind the First Amendment, and nobody has even mentioned the First Amendment to him. That's them doing that. We've all just mentioned the order, the governor and the president's order, and that's all we want him to adhere to, and not have these big services where people can potentially get sick. All the other pastors, priests, and churches in the nation, they're all doing it live stream. They're adhering to the orders, and that's the safest way to do it. Nobody's trying to take his preaching abilities from him. I don't care if he preaches. He can preach all he wants. That's his right. But please do it safely.
Are you investigating other parishioners for threatening people that have been off property or anything like that?
Well, we did get a second warrant for one of his parishioners, and he was supposed to turn himself in also, but evidently he didn't show. We talked to the attorney, which is Mr. Long. Mr. Long said he didn't know where he was at, but we will arrest him first chance we get. There is other instance that's happened. There was a gray vehicle that made a close call towards the same protester, and we're looking into that one too.
Now, I think a lot of people are asking, or at least in comments that I've seen, people are asking, was the protester on church property?
No, he is not. He's on the servitude. There's a 15-foot servitude. He's sitting on the servitude. His car is half on the shoulder and half on the grass. I mean, he's not bothering anyone. He's out there protesting, holding his signs up, and this is not about him out there protesting. It's about someone tried to hit him, and that's what the warrants are for.
So he didn't violate any laws by his protesting in any way?
I haven't seen him do anything. I'm not going to mess with him. He has a right to protest, and he's the only one out there. So I've seen times when the whole side of the road was full of cars with citizens that were concerned about these services. And we're concerned about the service because we don't want anyone to get sick. I don't want to get sick myself, and I don't want any of you to get sick.
Kind of late to the game. Could you take us through how the arrest went down, what the plan was that you understood versus what they were telling us?
Mr. Spell showed up. I guess he wanted to do a press conference, but we weren't here for a press conference. He showed up to turn himself in. So we took him into custody, and he went to the parish prison.
Mr. Jenkins said that you guys basically surrounded him when he got out of the vehicle.
We walked towards him, and he kept walking away, so we had to walk a little faster, and we took him into custody, and there was no incident.
Was there any time frame that you gave for him to turn himself in?
He was coming. We didn't know he was coming here to turn himself in.
Okay. I was just trying to figure out why they planned a press conference over there and came over here. Did you guys direct him to come over here?
Well, they originally wanted to have a press conference down there. That's what they were going to do. And the attorney said we can come arrest him there, but we weren't going down there for someone to, I say, showboat in front of the camera. We have a job to do. So his attorney changed the press conference to Central Police Department. Well, they can have all the press. They can have all the press conferences they want, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to make an arrest on a duly signed warrant by a 19th Judicial District Judge.
So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, why did you feel the need to arrest him right when he arrived?
He came to turn himself in, so we're here to make an arrest.
Were you trying to not let him have a press conference here?
I don't care about his press conference. I have a job to do. He had an arrest warrant, and he was arrested.
Gotcha. What do you say to his claim that that this is a trumped-up charge to try and shut down his operation?
Well,
he wasn't clearly, you probably hit him.
I'm quite sure that everybody has seen the video that was put out on the news, and it's pretty obvious. Channel 9, he even admitted to driving the bus. So
Yes, he did.
it is what it is, you know, and we did a warrant, and we put it in front of a judge, and the judge signed it. The judge thought there was probable cause, so the warrant was signed.
Was the other congregant who has an arrest warrant out for his arrest, was that incident also on Sunday night?
Yes, it was. It was before the late service. There was two different services.
Okay.
There was the 10 o'clock service, and then there was I think it's 7 o'clock service. So one happened that morning. Mr. Spell was that morning, and the parishioner was later on. The evening service.
And was that with his personal vehicle or with a bus?
That was his personal vehicle that evening.
And he has not turned himself in as of yet?
No, sir.
Gotcha.
We're going to attempt to contact him and have him turn himself in.
And he's appeared on Facebook, correct? You've seen that?
Oh, I don't know.
His
I
name
don't know.
is Nathan Fisher, correct? I mean, Nathan Thomas.
What was the other parishioner's name?
Nathan Thomas.
Nathan Thomas,
Boyce.
yes. Nathan Boyce Thomas.
You didn't give him any instructions for turning himself in as far as, I mean, since the building...
No, he was just coming here to turn himself in.
Since the building is closed, I mean, could he have gotten in, or how, I mean, how... My
plan was to meet him in the parking lot. Because I don't know if he's infected or any of his parishioners are infected or is a new attorney is infected. I don't want them up in my office to possibly infect my officers.
And he has been taken to parish jail, correct?
Yes, sir. He was booked with the warrant and 2 bench warrants. Fugitive for Zachary and 1 for EBR. For traffic warrants.
What was the Zachary?
Traffic warrant.
Oh, okay.